Hey guys, Tom here, I hope you're well. Here today doing a review of the Triumph Tiger 800 XRT. This bike has been kindly lent to me by the guys over at Laguna Motorcycles, so if it is a bike you're interested in, please do check them out. Also, I'll have the full write-up in the description below. So, the Triumph Tiger 800, I've been quite keen to have a go on one of these because this was an option of a bike that I looked at and read about online when I bought my bike and I got into riding. I went with the Strom 650 in the end, just because I kind of felt an 800. I didn't test ride the 800, but I just kind of felt a little bit like I needed something lower powered. So I went with the 650. However, I'm actually thinking while riding this around that this might have been a better option. So this is the XRT model. It starts at I think it's at 12,300 for this version, but it starts at around 9,200 I think for the standard Triumph Tiger XR, I believe. So it's an 800cc bike, 94 brake horsepower, which comes in at 9,500 RPM. It's then got 79 Newton meters of torque at 8,050 RPM. We've got Showa inverted forks at the front, and then we've got a Showa monoshock adjustable preload at the back. The adjustment for this, it just requires a screwdriver into there, which you will have in underneath the seat. So in terms of brakes at the front, we've got Brembos on this version. I think it's Nissin on the standard. In terms of seat height, it's got two different seat options actually. So, well, kind of, I'll explain. So the seat is adjustable, so you've got an 810mm to 830mm. Now I'm pretty sure that this is on the 810 at the moment. I believe the 830 just raises this seat up a bit. But then you also have a low seat height option on the bike, which then takes the seat height to 760 to 780, which that's a really good size bike as an option for people, I think. This being the XRT version, it comes with a TFT screen and a few other goodies. Let me just turn the screen on so you can see that. So here's the screen, similar to the screen that, well, I think it's the same screen that you have on the Street Triple RS, so one you'd be familiar with. You've got all the rider modes, you've got your speed, your gear indicator, you've then got your revs on there as well, your range, MPG, everything you need on there, which is good. And then because it's the XRT version, it also comes with a heated seat, which is lovely. So you've got a heated seat in the center, and then the pillion seat is heated also. So for me, I often have my girlfriend on the back of the bike and we ride in sometimes cold weather. She would love that as an option. You've also then got the heated grips as well, which work very well. Let's fire her up so you can hear how she sounds. I will need to just pull the clutch in to do this, as it's a Triumph. So the tone from the stock exhaust, yeah, it's all right. I would want to upgrade it personally. Let's give it a rev. I mean, it's not too bad. It's just, yeah, I'd want to upgrade it. That's my own personal choice. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good option of a bike. You've got the screen as well. Let me show you how the screen adjusts. So you can actually just grab it and then move it up and down, which is quite good. No tools required. Just do that very quickly on the fly. I would also, if I was having a bike like this, I'd be sticking the top box on the back, you know, having some luggage. And this to me is the sort of bike that you could, you know, go on quite a few adventures with, use it as your daily as well. My riding is in and out of London quite a bit on motorways, and then going through town as well, and this works as a good option for that, I would say. Also has cruise control, which is lovely. You know, really quite impressed with this bike. In terms of the weight, it's, what is it, I think 215 kilograms wet, and that's with a 19-litre fuel tank on it as well, which is, you know, very manageable. I don't know why I thought it would be heavier, I suppose, because they look bigger than they are, I would say. I've not taken out the 1200 yet, but I will be taking that out as well at some point to see what that's like compared to this. But in terms of an option of a bike which, you know, can do everything, then this could be quite a good choice for you. I quite like it in this blue as well. I'd probably go for it in black. I have a thing for black bikes, but the blue does look good, and I think you've then got options of white as well, and then I think there's one which is more geared towards off-roading, has spoked wheels on it, things like that, which comes in some different colours. I think it was a bit of an orange colour and maybe a green colour as well. They're not sure on that. But yeah, I'll jump back on and hope you enjoy the ride. Okay, so here on the Triumph Tiger XRT 800. So this is actually the closest bike of the bikes that I've been riding at the moment, compared to what I ride on my daily and my daily requirements for a bike, which is, you know, getting in and out of London, getting through traffic, time on the motorway. So quite an interesting bike to be taken out today, and I'm quite excited about it. This is the XRT version, which has all the goodies. You've got heated grips, heated seat. You've then got the TFT screen in front. Cruise control. I think cruise control is standard for all the 800s. I will double check that. Seating position, obviously very upright, in a commanding position. The test route I'll be taking today is my usual test route, very much a real life test. We'll be taking it through town, up the dual carriageway, back down through town for a bit of filtering, and then out to see how much fun it is on the twisties. But I think with this screen in front, we're going to see that it's going to be very good on the dual carriageway, I think. Nice chance for filtering straight away. Filter's fine. I thought it was going to be a wider than it is, but it's actually not too bad. It's absolutely fine at speed there. The wind protection you're getting at the front is brilliant. I wasn't really getting any wind at all there. And the power, you know, it absolutely fine for UK roads, you know, bobbing up into London, doing miles on the motorway, no problems at all. What we'll do is we'll head back down. Yep, absolutely fine for dual carriageways and motorways. If you're doing miles on those, quite a few, then you know, this is quite a good option. The power, it's, you know, it's not over the top. It's, you know, very much suited for riding in the UK, I would say. I mean, my demands on my bike that I have, I mean, it's each day I'll be riding into London and around London, you know, doing somewhere in the region of, you know, 100 miles most days, and this would be fine for that. Absolutely fine. Right, let's go through town. We've already tested out quite a bit of filtering on the way up, and we know that is fine. I think what I'm liking is, because of the seat height, it's not an excessively high bike. However, you know, you are quite a bit up, so you can see quite clearly what's going on ahead and make your decisions, you know, negotiating through traffic, which is good. And I think you are quite visible on bikes like these. In terms of the cockpit space and the dash and everything, we've got this lovely TFT screen, which is the same as the one on the Street Triple RS, I believe. Oh, there's a little gap. I don't think I can get through that. Might be able to squeeze through. I'm feet downing a little bit. Yep, that worked. Yeah, I believe it's the same as the one on the Street Triple RS. So if you're familiar with that, you'll know what it's got on it. I mean, you've got your speed, you've got your revs, you've got your rider mode on the top left, you've got a gear indicator on top right. It's absolutely fine, very visible, very functional, does what it needs to do. The mirrors are good, well positioned, can see clearly what's behind me. I was getting vibrations on the mirrors at around the 80 mile per hour mark, but apart from that, absolutely fine. The engine tone from the exhaust, you know, it's all right. It's not something fantastic. You may want to get a replacement exhaust for it. The screen here in front of me as well can be adjusted quite easily. I've got it set in a really nice position, but you don't need any tools for it. You can do it all by hand, and you can actually do it on the fly, just grabbing it and moving it up and down, which is pretty good. So as I mentioned, the XRT model that I'm on comes with the heated grips and the heated seat, so I think we should try them out. I think the grips, where's the heater for the grips? There's the seat. Here's the grips just on here, on the left stick. Let's put it on number 2, and let's put the seat on as well. So we'll put the seat on number 2. You've also got a heated seat for your passenger as well, which is really nice. My girlfriend would love it if I had a bike that had that. So that when we're out, it can keep her warm. But it's interesting, I think about a lot of these kind of adventure bikes and uses for them. Obviously there's the whole go on an adventure, but I think a lot of people are going to be using these sorts of bikes as their one and only bike, kind of do everything job. That's kind of what I use mine for. And you know, for a do everything bike that you're going to be putting a lot of miles on, if you are someone that rides like I do, then you know, something like an 800 or a 600, you know, or the 700s, that sort of range of bikes, I think I will always have a bike in that range as my do everything bike, and I'll then supplement my bike collection with other bikes which are more designed for fun, or maybe big tours, or just, you know, a track day or something like that. But my go-to, which will be the one that has a lot of miles on it, I think is probably going to be that sort of, you know, middleweight adventure style bike. I say that, but I may take out the 1200 Tiger and completely change my views on that and decide that the power is 100% needed. Which is part of the reason why I've taken the 800 out first. Oh, I'm definitely noticing the heated seat. Feels very nice. Not really needed on a day like today. It's not a cold day, it's not a super hot day, but it's It's very comfortable. What is the outside temperature? 17 degrees Celsius. So yeah, don't really need a heated seat, but have to evaluate these things. I tell you, it would be very nice in the winter. Heated grips have warmed up nicely as well, as one would expect. In terms of feet down here, I mean, I'm absolutely fine both sides, no issues whatsoever. I'm 6 foot, inside leg measurement of 33. There are a number of different height options of this bike you can get as well. I think the seat has 20mm of movement in it, so you've got, I think it's 810 to 830mm, but then you also have the lowered height option on the bike, which changes the seat height, so you'll be looking at I think it was 760mm to 780mm, so that's a really low bike, and accessible to quite a large number of different riders actually. Acceleration up to speed. Oh well, that accelerates quicker than I thought it would. Okay, so we're now in sport mode. Fairly simple, it's just a push of the mode button here on the left hand side. Once you've got the one that you want, you then hit the tick underneath and then pull the clutch in for it to be engaged. So I suppose the question is, you know, you can commute comfortably on it, but can you have enough fun on the weekends? And I would say you probably could. I mean, once you're up into those high revs, it's very responsive. In terms of differences in those rider modes, yeah, maybe I might be picking up a slight difference, but it's not massive that I'm picking up. However, I didn't really thrash it in road mode, so hard to say really. I'd probably personally leave it in sport mode all the time, just because that's the way I am. No, but it's not a sporty bike, that's the thing. I think you can have fun on it in the twisties, but the bike is a lot more made for being a, you know, do everything workhorse type bike, which it excels at that, I would say. It's interesting because I know the question is going to be 800 or 1200, and I've not ridden the 1200 yet, so I'll have to see what that is like. However, there is nothing wrong with this as a bike for a do-everything bike. If you only have one bike and you need to use your bike for work, you're getting in and out of town, you want to be able to go on a little tour on it, you want to be able to do a few adventure stuff, it's a very, very solid option, I think. So much so that I really do love my V-Strom. I think it's a really good bike, and I've always said that I'll probably have it until it dies, just because of the miles I do. I want something like that I can rely on. It's good in all weather, and I'm not going to worry about it too much, I suppose. And part of me's thinking this might have actually been a better option, mainly because of things like the cruise control, heated grips, heated seats. I've got heated grips on my bike, which I've put on myself, but also the power that you've got on it as well, I think is better for touring, or you know, taking a pillion, which my girlfriend's a very light lady. However, you know, it makes a difference just having that bit more power. Just trying out the cruise control here. That's very nice actually. I don't have cruise control on my bike, so I mean, that is lovely, very stable. I mean, yeah, because of the wind protection there, you could really, you know, ride a long time on this bike without getting fatigued. I really do like this bike because of what it is, you know, because of what it goes for. I mean, it's, you know, it's not an exciting bike, I will say that, but it's so functional at what it does that I think it's a great option for a lot of people who can only have one bike and they use it for their work. Let's put cruise control on again, even though I'm coming up to a little bit of traffic. I mean, look at that. Little things, I know, but cruise control on a bike, I've not had it, so I love it. Very comfortable in terms of the seating position here. You know, no issues whatsoever. I'm wondering what I'm going to think of the 1200. I'm very keen to get out on the 1200 soon. I might see if I could take that out tomorrow actually. If you're a owner of this bike and you've got a few miles on it, please do drop a comment. Let me know how you're getting on with it, any problems that potentially come up, because like I say, this would be a high mileage bike that I'd want it for, and good to know about any issues that might come up. Not that I think there'd be many. I mean, it seems very solid, and Triumph have a pretty good reputation. I think as we're coming down into town now, concluding thoughts, I suppose. I think, you know, I've made it quite clear throughout talking about it that, you know, it's a very good option, this, for a person who is looking to do a lot of miles, who's in and out of town, who's going to be on the motorway with it, who's going to be going on tours with it. I think it's a really good option, and I'm a little bit upset with myself that I didn't give it more of a look when I first got into biking, because, you know, this is fine as a first bike, I would say, as well. You know, not too crazy or anything. I think it's very good, and I found it probably a little bit intimidating looking at it beforehand after I passed my test, but that was just, there was no need jumping on it. I would have realised straight away that it's actually really good and completely fine. And I would have had to do things like heat my own fit my own heated grip, so I'd have the heated seat, I'd have cruise control, I'd have all of these things, which would be brilliant. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, please do remember to hit that thumbs up button, it massively helps me. Drop a comment and say hello, always great to hear from you guys, and subscribe for any of my future content. Many thanks to the guys over at Laguna Motorcycles in Maidstone. They are absolutely fantastic, lending me bikes to do these reviews, so if you are in the Maidstone area, please do pop in and say hello to them, and I will catch you for the next one. Cheers.